What's going on, everybody? Top of the morning. It is now the unofficial, or you can say official, start of the holiday season. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. Hopefully everything is going well with you. Had a really good weekend myself, and I want to talk about something that was kind of going through the airwaves of YouTube this weekend. I saw a few videos about it, and I want to talk about it, give my thoughts and opinions. So hopefully you guys will check it out. Listen, there's been some rumblings about game collecting nowadays. Is it still worth it? Should you still collect? Is it a possibility that things could get out of hand if you feel like you may have an addiction or whatever? Shout out to our Retro Gaming Dad. I think that's his YouTube channel. He does really good content. And I like to look at this stuff from time to time. And I love looking at other people's perspective when it comes to collecting. Because I am a collector myself, but I've always had this different mindset when it comes to collecting. So it's kind of like a contrast, not necessarily a disagreement, but just a different perspective of collecting games. And he was talking about, collecting games to put on the shelf as far as displaying them or something that you want to play. And I talk about this a lot, and when it comes to collecting games, because at one point I was really into the whole notion of let's just collect all the games that you can find. And this really started around the Dreamcast and original Xbox era. This is why when you see some of my videos, I have a lot of original Xbox games, because that was the console I really fell in love with. At first it was the Dreamcast, and when the Dreamcast died, I always looked at the Xbox, the original Xbox, as the sequel to the Dreamcast. So to me, it's like the, spiritual successor or the unofficial Dreamcast 2. They're very similar. So I was all in on the Xbox, even though I did collect for the PlayStation 2, GameCube, or whatever the case may be. But the thing about it is, collecting a whole bunch of games just because they're there is not really healthy. It's not. Even if you have all the room in the world to put these games in, it's not really healthy. And it's not a knock on anybody who does, full collections or whatever. But I look at it from a standpoint, from my point of view, I say it's not healthy because I like to collect games that I want to play. And if I find interest in it, more than likely I'm going to play it. Now, have you been influenced by other gamers or other social media personalities or YouTubers to collect games? Everybody has to some extent. I have. And I talked about two games in particular that I got because of Metal Jesus Rocks. Kim Possible was the Switch. I think that's the name of the game. It's a platformer, excellent platform. I love that I got that. And it was another one on the PlayStation 2 called Slipheed. And I saw them on his channel, and I was like, look, I'm going to try to, pick these up because they look really dope. So Slipheed and the Kim Possible game were games that I was influenced to buy that I probably would have never bought before. So, and it's very easy to get caught up in stuff like that. And just be mindful. When you're collecting, please, I will tell you, please pick up games that you really want to collect for. I don't care if you want to display them or just play them. Please just pick up games that you want to collect for, because it can get out of hand. It really can. Some people go in and just want to collect all the games in one library to put on the wall. That is absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're not committed to doing that, don't do it, because I started it with the original Xbox, and I got to the point where I'm picking up, games that I had no interest in. And as of right now, I'm almost at about 60 to 65% of the entire original Xbox library. But at one point, I was probably up to about 80%. And some of those games I ended up selling off because I just did not want them anymore. I either beat the game, or I beat the game and lost interest, or I beat the game and I just was not interested in it anymore. Or those games I'm just looking like, why did I pick this up? So there's a lot of that going on when you do collect games. And my main thing is, like, please collect stuff that you really would want to keep, because it like I said, it really could get bad. And I understand people like us that are on YouTube and throughout social media and all these other groups of out here, they do a pretty good job of showing off games, and some of these games may interest you. And like I said, I fell to that a couple times where there are some games that I wanted to get, and it's easy. But one thing about me is I started collecting games prior to the social media era, and I think that's one of the issues that a lot of people don't have nowadays. A lot of people started collecting, I think collecting video games really picked up around about between 2010 and 2012. That's when people started going to the the flea markets. They started going to the at one time they had them at the Goodwills. Especially when a lot of these consoles, like from the 6th generation, they weren't really available in the GameStops and EB Games anymore. People started going back and trying to sell off some of this stuff. People were willing to buy some of this stuff. So that's when it started to pick up big time. But me, I was more back, like I said, I started collecting games pretty much all my life. This is, to me, it's not a hobby to me. This is a way of life to me. I mean, my mom, and I talked about this on the Mother's Day video I did a while back. My mom was a gamer, and I remember watching her play Final Fantasy III on the Super Nintendo. I remember watching her play Dr. Mario on the NES. And I mean, I remember when I was a kid, and my mom had, we had the Atari, 2600. And we used to play Yard's Revenge, Pac-Man. Yes, we did play Pac-Man. We played Missile Command and what's the other game? Defender. And there was one of Asteroids. We played that as well. So it's been going back to the mid 80s for me. So I'm kind of dating myself, but I've been around for a very long time with gaming. I mean, most of the games my mom used to buy, and it basically just stayed in the family. A lot of the stuff I have is stuff I had from my childhood. And like I said, the Dreamcast was the first console that I bought with my own money, and I love that console. And I love the fact that the original Xbox came out, and for me it was like a spiritual successor. But ever since then, I've always wanted to get games that I wanted to buy. So even when I was a kid, that's what it was. We bought games that we wanted to play. Now, I think I said wanted to buy, but games that we wanted to play. So it's already been in my DNA. Nowadays, it's a little different with social media. People are out here just, hyping up certain games, and you think you want to buy it because you heard somebody else, talk about it. And sometimes that information is very vital, because you do find some games that you may be interested in. But most of the time, I say for me, I find games that I find interesting based on what I, that I wanted to get. Hold on one second, y'all. Hey, what's going on?
Hey, yo, buddy. You're ready to roll, man.
Alrighty.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
All right, you do the same. You take care of yourself now.
Yes,
all right, now. What's that? Oh, okay, yeah. I appreciate it. But yeah, that was the guy. He's finished unloading my truck, so that's cool. But like I said, back then, when you have the social media stuff, it's very vital. But for me, this is why it looks a little different, and I have a little bit of a different perspective on things, because of the fact that we really couldn't afford to buy games that we just saw out in the wild and just pick up. So I just kept that mindset the entire time. So that was really cool to have, and to this day I still stand by it. I just recently picked up 2 games that I really, really wanted that went on the list, and that I have probably about, now I'm probably down to maybe like 6 or between 4 and 6 games that I want that's left on my retro side of gaming, where once I get those games, I am done with getting games on the 6th generation, maybe the 7th generation on down. Everything else will probably be like that I buy, probably be more newer stuff, because I have most of the games that I want on the retro side. I mean, this goes all the way from the NES up to the PlayStation 3, Wii U era, Xbox 360 era. I pretty much have all the games outside of like 3 to maybe I'll say 3 to 6 games. So I was able to pick up 2 more. I'll talk about those in a pickup video, and I'll also put some more information out of the games that I really want that are left. Because like I said, they're like 4 to 6 games. They're pretty expensive, but I do want them physically. Everything else, I'll probably pick up a game on the PS5, Xbox Series. There's a few games that I may pick up. But yeah, I don't know, man. This new gaming aspect of the new generation makes me like, do I really want to get any physical copies of games now that are PS5 or Xbox Series? I mean, I don't know. I mean, the Nintendo Switch stuff is a different animal because that stuff my son mostly wants. So if I pick up anything on the Nintendo side, that's on him. But once again, he has this mindset as well, and he's only 5 years old. He looks at all the Switch games that are in GameStop or Walmart or whatever, and he looks at them, but he picks up games that he actually would be interested in and games that he wants. And most of that stuff is like Kirby and Mario and stuff like that. He's not just picking up games just because he sees them. He doesn't have that mentality. He gets games that say, hey, I want to play this. And that's a good mindset to have. So when you're collecting these games, it's awesome to collect. They look great on the wall. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I love my original Xbox collection, but I got rid of maybe about 100 to 125 games off that collection because some of those games I just did not want anymore, and it was just taking up space. And I love my collection, but I don't like having games just to have them. And I just, maybe that's not for everybody, but just be mindful when you're going out shopping and doing these other things as far as buying games. If you want to buy games to display, that's cool. If not, that's something that you may want to reconsider because it's very easy to fall into that. Very easy. But oh man, this is almost a 12-minute video. I didn't expect for it to be this long. Hopefully you guys didn't get bored by me rambling because I can ramble. And since they got my truck unloaded, I'm gonna get up out of here, get back on this road. Hopefully you guys enjoy the rest of your Monday. And I got more content to be talked about later on this week. Some things I got in store for the beginning of the new year. Hopefully you guys will be on board with that. We'll talk about that at a later time. So I'm gonna get up out of here, and I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, y'all, I'm out. Peace.